Apple's September event was a big one, and it was nothing less than impressive. The event had multiple new devices, with Apple releasing 2 new Apple Watches, but more importantly, Apple's main event was indeed the new iPhone. The iPhone featured a bunch of new features and many changes, but the biggest change will always be a new chip to power the whole thing, and this year, Apple finally succeeded in giving the A17 chip the upgrade that they have been trying to give it for years now. They finally succeeded. So, as you might already know, with every new iPhone release, Apple always releases a new chip to power the device and to mark a device with a much improved performance overall. Typically, Apple would give the full lineup of new iPhones the newly released chip, but last year, this was no longer the case. For the first time since the iPhone was first released, Apple released multiple iPhones in one event which were powered by 2 different chips despite all of them being the iPhone 14. Apple decided to make the cheaper and more expensive iPhones distinct by making the cheaper iPhones stick to the same chip that was already powering the previous generation. So, the iPhone 14 had the same A15 chip that powered the iPhone 13, while the more premium iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max made a move to the new A16 chip. This was the first time Apple had ever done this, and it was sad to see. It is a marketing move to push users to buy the more premium iPhones and pay more due to Apple struggling to make as much money as they would like. Unfortunately, as everyone expected, Apple did the same this year, and this approach is here to stay. The new iPhone 15 got the A16 chip from last year's Pro models, while the Pro and Pro Max got the shiny new A17 chip. The A17 Pro chip marks the first time in which Apple actually included the word Pro in the name of an iPhone chip. This is surely a marketing move, but the A17 chip is not just any ordinary chip released by Apple, since this one is actually special, and Apple knows that. With the new A17, Apple claims to make a massive move in terms of transistor technology as they release what they called in the event, the industry's first 3nm chip. This means that the elements inside this new transistor are just 12 silicon atoms wide. In total, the new chip contains a total of over 19 billion transistors. Now, let us talk in numbers that are a bit down to earth so that you can have a more solid grasp of what this chip is actually capable of. The new chip still has the same architecture that Apple has been relying on for a while now. It has a 6-core CPU and a 6-core GPU, which is to be expected since we know that Apple is not working on increasing the number of cores per se, but they are working hard to make every single core as powerful and efficient as can be. For example, the 6 CPU cores are divided into 2 high-performance cores and 4 high-efficiency cores. With this new technology, each one of the high-performance cores is simply capable of handling more as it is 10% faster. The neural engine, which is an essential part of Apple's chip and one that plays many crucial roles on the iPhone, is now 2 times faster, which is impressive. This is very important for any task that the iPhone runs that relies on machine learning. The bigger changes came to the GPU, which Apple claimed during the event to be the biggest change ever by Apple to a GPU and a totally new design. Apple even went as far as labeling it a Pro-class GPU. The new GPU is a brand new design with 6 cores and is 20% faster when compared to the last model. Apple made sure that gaming on the new iPhone was going to get a big improvement. For example, they add mesh shading to the new GPU, making it easier for the new GPU to render better graphics and make the game look more realistic and a lot better. Ray tracing is much improved as well for a much better light reflecting in gaming scenes, making gaming a bit better. The new hardware-based ray tracing can carry out ray tracing 4 times faster than before when it relied on a software-based version of this. This new A17 Pro chip does really look impressive. Of course, we can never be sure without having a hands-on trial of the new devices, but the move to 3nm technology has been long awaited. This in itself is a success on Apple's behalf. This will also reflect greatly on every single chip that is going to be released from now on. The A17 chip is not a chip that powers the iPhones only. It is the chip that Apple works on and modifies to make the M3 chip. This means that now we are going to get a new M3 that is built on the impressive new 3nm technology, which means it is going to be a lot faster and much more power efficient. Overall, this event was a success for Apple. And what remains now is what for the new M3 chip and seeing if it matches what we expect. Hey friends! Excited to share something phenomenal with you. Skillshare. It's an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious folks like us. Want to unlock your creativity and learn new skills? Use my link below for a free month of Skillshare. Explore classes in design, photography, business, and more. And here's a bonus. Use code annual30AFF to get 30% off an annual subscription. Dive in, join millions, and let's create and learn together. Don't wait. Click the link, start your learning journey, and let's inspire each other with our creations. See you there.